Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Around the World by Drishti IAS. The increasing presence and influence of China in the Asia-Pacific region, particularly in areas surrounding the South China and East China Seas, have compelled regional players to bolster their bilateral partnerships in response to China's actions. A prominent example of this rapidly advancing bilateral relationship is evident in the growing ties between Japan and the Philippines. Both Japan and the Philippines are concerned about maritime security, particularly in the South China Sea. China's territorial claims and assertive actions in the region, as well as territorial disputes involving multiple countries, have raised concerns about stability and access to vital sea lanes. Both nations have an interest in upholding freedom of navigation and peaceful resolution of disputes in these waters. The South China Sea territorial disputes involving several claimant states are a shared concern. Japan has its own maritime territorial disputes with China in the East China Sea. China and Japan both claim 200 nautical miles of exclusive economic zone rights, but the East China Sea width is only 360 nautical miles. China claims an EEZ extending to the eastern end of the Chinese continental shelf based on UNCLOS 3rd, which goes deep into the Japanese claimed EEZ. Now let's talk about the evolving relationship between Japan and the Philippines, focusing especially on the defense sector. In the aftermath of World War II, Japan and the Philippines have traversed a long path from a history of conflict to one of cooperation and strategic partnership. The evolution of their relationship is particularly notable in the realm of defense and security, where both nations have made significant strides toward a robust alliance. The transformation of Japan-Philippines defense relations is emblematic of the broader changes in Japan's post-war foreign policy. Historically constrained by its pacifist constitution, Japan has gradually redefined its security stance, particularly under the Abe and Kishida administrations. The Philippines, for its part, has sought to diversify its security partnerships beyond its traditional alliance with the United States as regional threats, especially in the maritime domain, have become more pronounced. A pivotal element in the Japan-Philippines defense relationship is the ongoing negotiations for the Reciprocal Access Agreement or RAA. This proposed pact is a testament to the deepening military ties between the two countries, aiming to facilitate joint exercises, training, and operations. The RAA would allow the Japan Self-Defense Forces and the armed forces of the Philippines to access each other's territories, enhancing interoperability and readiness. Last year, the two island nations held their first four-way security talks among their defense and foreign ministers and agreed to strengthen their defense ties. This agreement is seen as a strategic move to counterbalance China's growing assertiveness in the region, particularly in the South China Sea, where both Japan and the Philippines have significant security interests. The defense partnership also extends to humanitarian assistance and disaster relief areas, where both nations have a history of vulnerability and cooperation. The terms of reference, that is TOR, signed between the two countries, underscore a commitment to mutual support in times of natural disasters, reflecting a shared understanding of the importance of regional stability and human security. This aspect of the defense relationship not only strengthens military ties but also builds goodwill and trust among the populations of both nations. In August 2020, MELCO signed a contract worth approximately $100 million with the Philippine Department of Defense to export 3 fixed air surveillance radars and 1 mobile radar system. The delivery of an air surveillance radar system to the Philippine Air Force took place in November 2023 and marked the first such transfer since Japan relaxed its self-imposed ban on the export of defense equipment and technology. The transfer of defense equipment from Japan to the Philippines marks a significant milestone in their bilateral relations. The Japanese government established the so-called Three Principles on the Transfer of Defense Equipment and Technology in April 2014. This development is part of Japan's official security assistance, that is OSA framework, which aims to strengthen security cooperation with like-minded countries. By providing the Philippines with advanced surveillance capabilities, Japan is contributing to the enhancement of the Philippine defense infrastructure, which is crucial for maintaining regional security and monitoring activities in contested maritime areas. The Japanese Foreign Ministry has already chosen the Philippines, Malaysia, Bangladesh and Fiji as OSA recipients for fiscal year 2023. The maritime security concerns shared by Japan and the Philippines are a central driving force in their defense cooperation. The South China Sea is a strategic waterway that is vital for international trade and is rich in resources. However, it is also a region fraught with territorial disputes and the site of China's expensive territorial claims. Both Japan and the Philippines have an interest in ensuring freedom of navigation and overflight, as well as the peaceful resolution of disputes in accordance with international law, including the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, that is UNCLOS. The defense ties between the two countries also encompass cyber and economic security, recognizing the multifaceted nature of modern security threats. Japan's assistance in improving the capabilities of the Philippine Coast Guard and the enhancement of port facilities at Subic Bay, a strategic location once home to a US naval base, is indicative of the broad scope of their security cooperation. These efforts are not only about deterring traditional military threats, but also about ensuring the economic and infrastructural resilience of the Philippines. Japan's revised security strategy, which includes a counter-strike capability and a significant increase in defense spending, signals a more proactive stance in regional security. This strategic shift is complemented by Japan's use of development assistance to support other nations in the region in strengthening their maritime safety and security capabilities. This approach serves as a counterweight to China's growing influence and is indicative of Japan's desire to play a more active role in ensuring a free and open Indo-Pacific. The economic dimension of the Japan-Philippines defense relationship is also noteworthy. Japan has pledged 600 billion yen, that is $4.6 billion, in economic assistance from the public and private sector for the Philippines through March 2024, aimed primarily at improving infrastructure such as the construction of a commuter railway and enhancing disaster response capabilities. This economic engagement is intertwined with security interest. The two sides also signed an agreement to work together in information and communication technology and to cooperate in energy security and industrial development. After examining the recent developments in the Asia-Pacific region and Japan's adjustments to its foreign policy and defense restructuring, it is evident that there is a clear commitment to counter the growing influence of China. Japan's proactive engagement with like-minded nations represents a significant shift from its complete dependence on the USA. The establishment of strong bilateral relations with the Philippines is contributing to a shift in the power dynamics within the region, characterized by the formation of alliances aimed at countering elements perceived as opposing or adversarial.